That ending, dude. Something just so deeply satisfying about finally getting to see that, dude. Like, when Gilgamesh just takes Ilya's heart, jams it into fuckboy Shinji's chest, he's like, yo, we got a master right here, capable of being the vessel. You know, it's quite the ugly container, but at least the mud that spills out of you will be okay. And Shinji's like, writhing, he's like, it died, it hurts, it's spreading, oh my, and you see him on his fucking TETSUO SHIMA, shit bubbling out of him and whatnot, the arms just grasping down. I'm like, never has something so utterly disgusting been so pleasing to my eyes, because Shinji, fuckboy Shinji, the grimiest fiend of them all, deserved that end. And it's not even my favorite one for him, in honesty, because as those of you know who've read the visual novels, you know what I'm talking about when I say, with my deep-seated hatred for Shinji, I like the way things go in Heaven's Feel route, you know, better than this. But it was still deeply satisfying to see that. But this episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, episode 21, I believe. So well done, dude. So fucking well done. That, once again, that battle animation during Archer versus Shiro. When Shiro resolves himself and you see, you know, the Unlimited Blade Works, the reality marble start to shift in the background. You see the different color palettes clashing with one another. Shiro, each step, the mana being released from his feet, dude. I'm just like, yo. You know, Archer's throwing blade after blade at the man. He's just slicing through them, makes it all the way to him. And of course, Shiro, in reality, did not win that fight. Archer hesitated and decided not to stab him. And the depth to that, Shiro's answer and response, you can tell that the chance of Shiro going down the path that Arthur went down with this episode and the way Ufotable adapted it and portrayed it, anime only should be able to grasp the fact that Shiro's understanding that his methodology, that his ideals are hypocritical, automatically makes the chance of him going down Archer's path much, much smaller. Because the thing about Archer was that he didn't realize the hypocrisy in it until far after the fact. Until once he was a guardian for the counterforce, that's when he realized the error of his ways and the fallacy of the ideals. Shiro's able to get through to his future self, and it was interesting. I love the way that they had Saber's dialogue at the beginning, where she's just like, you know, they're on the same wavelength, but something's different right here, right? And she's onlooking, and you see Archer's just utter disgust, but at the same time he's unable to bring himself to kill his younger self. He's looking at it and he's like, you're making me remember some unsightly things I never wanted to tread back on. You see the flashbacks with Kiritsugu and everything, that's just so well done, right? And he's looking over on him and everything like that. He's like, just why am I fighting him fair like this? Why can't I just bring myself to finish it? And because Archer could have beat him at any time, in all honesty. Shiro was going in. I'm not gonna fucking lie. But Archer, if he really wanted to, all he had to do was hop back and even use, you know, more blades from the Unlimited Blade Works and go in against Shiro. Because Shiro was, you know, progressing throughout this fight. Time after time, you see that, and the indications of him affecting the reality marble are actually quite interesting. I love how Ufotable did that, because it definitely has its merit in foreshadowing and things of that nature. But to see Archer finally convinced, basically at the end of the day, and realizing, he's like, why am I fighting this way? It's because he was trying to defeat him in a battle of the mind, in a battle of their ideals. He wanted Shiro to admit that was the path that was left to him. That was the only option that was left to him, and to renounce his ideals. He wanted to defeat him with that, and, you know, insert his mentality at where he's gotten to in his life at this point on his younger self. And that was much more, you know, a battle of ideals than it was a true battle of them going in, even though the battle animation was fucking crazy. But to see Shiro resolve himself once again, and to be like, even though it's hypocritical, you know, I know it's ridiculous. I'm living a false and fake lifestyle. I'm hurting myself. How can I really, you know, be claiming to put others above me when I'm not even taking care of myself? Rin's told it to him. Many a person has told it to him. But at the end of the day, he maintains his promise to Kiritsugu, and he remembers to himself. He's like, I don't care about any of that. Because isn't the idea of helping others and putting them above yourself beautiful? And that shit gets through to Archer, dude. So much so that he's willing to sacrifice himself, and he pushes Shiro out of the way of Gilgamesh's attacks, dude. Now, I don't want to spoil anything. There's a lot of stuff I can talk about, especially with, you know, that scene. I'm just gonna move away from that. Archer, fucking beast, dude. I fucking, that's all I can say. I want anime only to tell me what their thoughts are on Archer right now, And, you know, I can't dive into it any more than that. Let's move on, because Gilgamesh really did shine hard in this episode, dude. The man's dialogue when he just leaves them in there and he's like, you know what this means, right? The fucking soot is worth more to me than your lives, because I'm just not trying to get dirty anymore. I'm out. You guys just stay here. After he elaborates his grand scheme to, you know, purge the world, purge his garden and everything he owns from the filthy mongrels that inhabit it and start things anew, he's disgusted by the level of humanity at this point, and he wants to use the Grail as a catalyst for that. And a lot of his dialogue about the Grail showcases and really does, the way they adapted this episode served to follow up as a sequel for Fate Zero. I take it, you know, Fate Zero, you know, watchers definitely feel this vibe going forward, even though I would argue once again that Heaven's Feel is a more complete, you know, sequel to Fate Zero. But that's neither here. That's the debate that we've been going on for too long. It's not necessary right now. The fact of the matter is, his dialogue with Saber and everything like that, and discussing the true nature of the Grail, there's a lot of depth that if you're not, you know, big into the Nasu-verse and you don't actually know, you know, the backstory, and you haven't played the Fate visual novels and the depth of, you know, the Grail and everything like that, you're not really going to, some of the things are going to seem to not align with you. It's going to make sense coming off Fate Zero, but there's a lot of depth missing there, and I don't really want to dive into it because there's, you know, things to discuss like Angra Mainyu, which, you know, Angra Mainyu was, you know, discussed in Fate Zero as well, so that's one thing that, you know, you could reference in the corruption of the Grail during the Third War and everything like that, what the actual whole that Gilgamesh is talking about actually is, and why, you know, the various masters like Zoken and the Ironsburns continue to participate in the Grail War, knowing what, you know, the purpose of the Grail is. They're trying to reach, you know, through this whole and reach the Akashic records and everything like that. So there's a lot of depth to it, and why this corruption is spread. You know, Gilgamesh definitely outlines the way the Grail is working in terms of its contents and the way this corruption is spreading outward. But some of his dialogue is misinterpreted in terms of, you know, the Grail not being a wish-granting device in its entirety at all, because that's not very, you know, very well true. There's a lot of depth in terms of, you know, it being corrupted, and Angra Mainyu granting a wish with destruction, like, you know, put like the thing that Kiritsugu saw back in Fate Zero, granting that wish in the means that only can with meeting with destruction. That's all that the corruption of the Grail causes. So there's a lot of depth to it. There's a lot of stuff I can talk about there, but in all honesty, it's not really apt to get into that. At the very most, for anime onlys, I think the key for this scene is just the impact of Saber and Gilgamesh's dialogue, and him just espousing his you know, goal and his end game, and showcasing that he is the final villain of this fucking arc, this route right here. So, yeah, really good episode, dude. That ending, though, I just love to fucking see it. I love to see it. I really do. I mean, I'm really hyped for these last handful of episodes, and I'm also super hyped for the Heaven's Feel movie, dude. That shit is gonna be crazy. But another spectacular unlimited budget works episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, dude. Oh my god. Next week we're gonna get if UFOTABLE goes in next week and they don't censor anything, we're gonna have a nice little scene. We're gonna have some nice Renek Shiro joint. I'm looking forward to that. But that's pretty much it for this review. I don't really want to go into anything else about this episode, to be quite honest. But I love how, you know, they portrayed the battle of ideals between Archer and Shiro, and how they concluded the battle, and Shiro's answer, Archer's resolve, and how, you know, his final moments were enacted. And that's all I really can say about that, because I want to avoid spoilers. So that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts, and I'm out. Peace.